Oh, hello. I am the real Manos. And for those of you who have been following my comic reviews for years, you may not realize that I am quite the student of the dark arts. I don't mean to brag, but I have skimmed through a number of Lindsay's copies of the Time Life series, Mysteries of the Unknown. Don't mean to scare you. But there's a passage in here I find tantalizing. There was once a woman who burned her hand when she picked up a frying pan from the stove. At that exact moment, from across the country, her twin sister felt the pain. She then instantly called her sister in order to tell her, "Bitch, use an oven mitt next time." Coincidence? Read the book. This brings me, of course, to our newest Mystery Science Theater 3000 review, where I will be discussing the Doctor Strange ripoff, Dr. Mordrid. Hey folks, we're back and we're going to be talking about a new Mystery Science Theater 3000 film, and it is, yes, Dr. Mordrid. And I may have skipped over this in my accounting of episodes for this season. I may have to double back and take a look. But I'm not sure which episode number this is, so I'll correct it in the listing. But hey, this is an Emily episode, and the opener features Emily and the bots. Let's see, while the Mads kind of like decide to kind of kidnap another original host, and they get none other than Dr. Earhart, kind of answering the question like, is he alive? Is he okay? What happened to him? And there was a joke that he was like on a milk carton, and in, what was it, Earth versus the spider kills this guy they think looks like him. And they go, oh, that's what happened to him. So, no, he wasn't apparently killed by a giant spider. He just took off. And it's really kind of nice seeing J. Elvis Weinstein play him again. It's kind of fun to see him do the character more adult. But we'll get more into him in a later episode when he actually interacts with a couple of the other characters, and I get to you. But anyway, the invention exchange is featuring, like, the Mads have this, like, what is this, cream? This palm greaser, and let's see, Emily has this public domain ringtones, which is very similar to the public domain karaoke machine, but I think Emily, I think that already does exist. So, I don't know. You may have lost this round. But anyway, we get into the movie. And the movie is from, let's see, it's from Moonstone. And they've been always, like, a studio that I've always, like, admired. More than I've really liked a lot of their output. And they're still working today. They have a new movie that came out, The Primevals, which actually has another connection. Because this was directed by Albert and Charles Band with effects from Dave Allen, who was a really excellent stop-motion animator. And let's see, it stars Jeffrey Combs, Brian Thompson, and Yvette Nepal. And it's a Doctor Strange ripoff, and actually it's an interesting Doctor Strange ripoff because it was supposed to be Doctor Strange. They had the rights from Marvel, and then they lost them, and it was like, well, we put all this money into this production, let's just scratch off the names and put our own. And it really does make you think, like, what kind of film would we have gotten if they had been able to go through with Doctor Strange? But anyway, some of my favorite riffs in this are like, let's see, Jeffrey Combs' name comes up, and Crow instantly says Jeffrey Brush was unavailable. Um, let's see. Emily mentions the apartment building in the film that it's set in is owned by Dr. Mordrid. He's the landlord, and they get a lot of good landlord jokes on this one. And there's a lot of creepy stuff going on, and like Emily says, like Sam Raimi's The Apartment. Let's see. There's also I had a dream that we lost the rights to Doctor Strange. Oh no! Then we had this host segment where Tom mocks Dr. Mordrid's speech. There's a scene where he gives a seminar, and Tom basically turns it into like a bad stand-up act, which he's apt to do. So anyway, we have a few more riffs that I kind of like stuck to. There's a scene with firemen, and one of them's walking away, and Tom, as one of the characters, goes, "Hey, love your calendars." As well as there's a shot of a clock without too much context, and Tom yells, "Oh no, it's time o'clock!" I love kind of stupid, generic jokes like that. I don't know. The next host segment was Emily trying to do epic magic in a spell, but she keeps getting interrupted by tenants with like tenant problems, which is a recurring riff they do in the movie, but they I guess they had too many jokes to not do like a segment. Anyway, let's see. There's also more pretty good riffs here. There's also my body is going to make weird noises, so don't panic. And darn it, just stand there and let me shoot you. There's so many cops here that like are pretty trigger happy, but you know what? In real life, maybe that is true. Maybe that is something that I can credit Dr. Mordrid for being correct on. Let's see, what else we got? There's these two guards with guns drawn, and the Dave Allen animated T-Rex shows up. And as they're firing at it and being useless, Tom says, "We need backup! Get the meteor!" There's some pretty good riffs in this one. Of course, I'm going to end with like a segment that they were doing, like they were like trying to figure out their own superhero team, the Revengers, and it's Dr. Earhart, as I mentioned earlier. He is tasked with bringing an OG host, and he's like, "Well, okay, who do you want? Do you want Joel or Mike?" And they said, "We don't care, just do it." And Earhart goes, "Okay, dealer's choice. I'll go get him." And of course he's going to go get Joel because this is Joel's show. He's the showrunner of this run of the series. So we're going to get Joel very soon in the series, and I'm pretty excited to see him back. But anyway, the Stinger actually, one of the things I've had a problem with this resurgence of Mst3k is the Stingers are not as strong as they used to be, and I don't know who chooses the Stingers, but they don't really sting. I don't know, they don't really have that last like kind of gotcha joke. But this one I liked a lot. This is one of the better ones I've seen in this run, and it's one of Brian Thompson's henchmen just being goofy, dancing around or something like that. It's pretty funny, and out of context, it's hilarious. But anyway, like I said, the movie itself, let's talk about the movie itself. Like I said, Full Moon almost had a, did I call it Moonstone? Excuse me. Full Moon had the rights to Doctor Strange. Back when Marvel, if you had $50, they'd probably give you the rights to one of their characters. This is back then. And this is about around the same time they were like, wheeling and dealing with canon, with their Spider-Man movie, and Roger Corman's crew with Fantastic Four, and Moonstone, which I think was a actually pretty good idea. And on paper it was like, okay, yeah. I don't know why. I haven't researched it to see what caused Marvel to pull out. I assume it was their decision. And then I don't blame Full Moon, because Full Moon had all this like time and money and effort they put into it. They had Jeffrey Combs. okay, let's just make our own movie. It does. I do wonder, like, how much of this film has changed. Like obviously they had to change, some of the lore, but the story would that have remained the same. There is unfortunately some of the direction in this film, and I get this with a lot of like American films and low budget American films, is like so many static shots where there are scenes that could have been a little bit stronger with a little bit more punch, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm watching like a play rehearsal. Like it's there. There's this one scene where Mordrid leaps out of his body, and let's see, Yvette has to like guard him, and then one of the henchmen tries to kill him, and it's not really that thrilling. I don't know. It should be. That's a really scary moment, but doesn't really land. And that's for me an example that really sticks out with this film. Like, oh, it's like this was so close. And like I said, I've never been like the biggest Full Moon fan, but this is, I think, one of their better efforts. I think you could probably watch this without. This is one of those movies for Mst3k and riff tracks that you can watch and enjoy without the riffing. I particularly love Jeffrey Combs. I think he's an excellent actor. I think this movie's a little bit beneath him. I think this movie's a little bit beneath Brian Thompson, but only a little. And you know what? I keep thinking about this interview with Brad Pitt, and he was talking about, he was asked about movies that don't work, and he talks about how a lot of times when you sign on for a film, the movie that is made is different than the one that was pitched to you. And I can't help but think this is the case. Like, Jeffrey Combs got offered Doctor Strange, and he ended up playing Dr. Mordrid. I mean, I guess that possibility is exciting, that you can create your own thing. And I know I've done that, but that's got to be kind of disappointing, for those involved. Although I don't know, maybe they weren't at all. Maybe they're like, oh, cool, all right, let's go, let's do it. I can't imagine this being like an exciting. Well, maybe it was exciting, but I can see this being a stressful production where it's like you think you have something, and then you don't, and it's kind of annoying. But I do put this kind of on the unofficial Doctor Strange film category. So if you go back, watch the two MCU ones, you go back and watch the 70s TV movie pilot, I think you should give this one a watch too, to complete your set. Anyway, that's what I think. Also, let's see. As far as the episode is concerned, I think this is also one of Emily's better episodes as well, and it's a lot of fun. The movie's a lot of fun to watch, and it's fun to build riffs off, and the host segments are particularly good. And of course, we get that early stinger with the dancing henchman. So yeah, I like this episode quite a bit. I'm going to probably give this a 4 out of 5 Ram chips. Pretty good recommend. I definitely think it's worth checking out. So hey, what did you, the viewers at home, think? Did you like this episode? Do you think you should check it out? You should check it out even separately from the episode. I think it's a movie worth your time. So I am going to be talking next month about another episode of Mst3k, and until next time.